Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We've got some protests, it looks like, because of this shooting that happened. Thoughts on Tim Walz calling for citizens to engage ICE? It's just stroking. If that he did that, that's just stroking the flames. It's inciting violence. If he actually did that, the chat's gonna be ice cold, dude. My driveway is cooked. My driveway is iced. I'm trying to clean it up because we're getting 10 inches of snow. Fucking, my driveway has like half of it's a sheet of ice. So now it's gonna snow. You're gonna try and shovel it. It's gonna be a mess. 70 plus people died from ice under Obama administration. Nobody said anything, but then two people died now. Well, dude, you have to understand 70 people died. There should be like a million protests if 70 people died under Obama. They should cancel basketball games. You see, they're canceling the NBA game. You know how performative that is. They're like, oh, it's just so bad under Trump. We have to cancel the game. It's such a crisis. The fascists have forced us to cancel. We must protest the fact that Trump won and is deporting people just like what was voted for. You fucking idiots. Like, I don't even get the thing is with these ICE protests, I don't even know what it is. You're protesting democracy, like they're deporting people because the people are here illegally. We have to have a country. What the fuck don't you understand? It's like you're talking to toddlers. That man is wearing a mask. He looks mean. So that means we shouldn't have a country. Well, they don't believe in a country. They think it should be an economic zone. They don't even, there's no culture to being an American with any of these people. Did you see the bananas and rice clip? What the hell was that? Did she forget what she said? That was the weirdest thing, man. Yeah, I saw that. Can anyone tell me a positive contribution Somalians have made to America? Well, for Democrats, I guess they vote liberal. I don't. It's just ridiculous. It's all just suicidal empathy. It's insane. But these urban centers, what do you do with these urban centers? And it's mainly white people, a lot of it, that have the suicidal empathy. It's just not fixable. These urban centers are not fixable. Are they just going to randomly become right wing one day after? It's just not realistic. Was the guy shot black or Latin American? No, I think he was Jewish, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. He looked Jewish to me, but government shutdown. Oh yeah, another government shutdown. That's just great. Because of this, I saw it go up way up in Poly Market. Now they're calling for a government shutdown last day of January. That because liberals aren't going to vote, I guess, on the budget extension or whatever. Remember the people were rioting over Renee Good, and this guy are the same people who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination and wanted his wife and kids dead. Yeah, I mean it's all performative bullshit. Like, you can't even relate to any of these protests. It's such a joke. It's such a sham. Like, what did you think ICE was gonna do? Just play patty cake or something? I mean, I don't understand. What do you think physical deportations looks like? Jose Kuma, the illegal that ICE was arresting during the shooting, was wanted for domestic violence, disorderly conduct, driving without a license, in addition to being a trespasser during the shooting, just FYI. Thank you for the $20 donation. That's very kind. Yeah, but they don't care about any of that. It's all performative for them and it's propaganda. They just propagandize it and say ICE is fascist. The funniest thing, though, is them canceling, like, the basketball game because that's when it's like, it's all like the liberals that love basketball. It's the fascist regime. They forced us to cancel. And it is funny. Like I would love to look up the situation with 70 people dying under Obama and like not a thing happening. Like the performative outrage. Imagine it's just hilarious. Is your Walmart empty? I don't really go to Walmart, but I don't think so. I mean, we deal with storms and snow. Yeah, it's all the people in the South. They get psychotic about the snow, so that's why they were there was all this coverage about it. You know, if it was just like a storm that was moving north, there really wouldn't be all this crazy coverage because the South people are getting snow. It's like people are freaking out. But we deal with snow a lot, and I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's more the cold. I mean, it's been very cold. It's 8 degrees right now. We need to trade Minnesota for Alberta. The map would be fucked if we did that. We can't do that. Why is it taking so long to pass the Save Act? They need to do it while they have the majority in that. Yeah, it's been a really disaster with Congress. I mean, even with the majority, well, it's a slim majority, so it's a challenge. But I agree. I mean, I think a voting an act to force voter ID to stop a lot of the mail-in voting. I think that's good if that's what that Save Act is, because I think that's what it is. It's based off of the voter ID stuff. And you would think that, you know, I don't really know any retorts to that other than they say, well, minorities are too stupid to get IDs. I mean, that's what they do say. They legitimately say that. They say minorities don't have access to IDs, so they can't enforce voter ID laws. Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, yeah, they canceled their game. It's the worst thing ever. It's just so performative when you look at the difference. I mean, what did these people think would happen? And then they're like, Trump is just antagonizing Minneapolis by sending a bunch of ICE agents there. Well, so should he send them to New York City? Do you think it's going to go well if he sends them to New York City? Do you think it's going to go well if he sends them to uh, Austin, Texas, or LA County, just like we saw last summer? Anywhere where there's a lot of these legals and you want to perform all these raids, it's all liberal hotbeds. These are all liberal places that are going to resist it. So are we just not allowed to deport these people because liberals don't say, no, we think this is mean, you shouldn't do this? Like what do these liberals say about the fact that Trump won in 2024 based off of mass deportations? What do they say about that? Do they just override that because they think it's mean? The guy was already disarmed. Yeah, I mean, it's a judgment call. It's semantics. The guy, it's an FAFO. I mean, what are you doing in that situation? I mean, what do you want me to say? Listen, this is another one where it's like he's got a gun. You might be able to criticize and say, well, maybe there's a trigger thing. Maybe they're a little trigger happy on that. I don't know, man. It's a heat of the moment thing. It's a scrum. It's an FAFO. I mean, why are you there? And you know, it just immediately gets politicized. Do you think tensions about ICE are about to get a lot worse than this? Well, I don't know how this. You know, it's a little bit different. I feel because of how cold it is, and so you don't think there's going to be a crazy situation across the country where there's all these riots like we saw in 2020. But I think they probably will tone down the rhetoric on ICE because of the midterms. It's just we're not there yet. And really, it's just, I mean, they're going to continue performing these raids because they have to deport the people. I mean, a lot of the Trump supporters are angry that the numbers are not high enough on the physical deportations, anyways. No, I don't have a concealed carry license. Yeah, I mean, people talk about Minnesota. It's any liberal hub though, man. I mean, look at what happened with LA last year in the summer and all the riots over that. All right, riots or protests, whatever you want to call it, where they had to bring in the National Guard to, I guess, guard the government buildings. I mean, it's going to happen, I feel, anywhere. Like, these people think they can just override the will of the people and saying we want mass deportations because it hurts their feelings, and then if anything happens to them, they they it a lot of them think they can just assault ICE and get away with it. I saw on TikTok this one, God knows what gender, but they're like, well, you can actually assault ICE because of the local judges. They're not going to charge you with anything because they have compassion for people fighting ICE and all this. And I mean, these people don't even get charged. It's clear obstruction. I don't even think these people, who are they even deporting, these ICE agents? They can't even deport anyone. They're constantly harassed by these people. They go around with whistles. They constantly beep on the car. I mean, this is disturbing the peace. Arrest them. Can they not make a lawful arrest on these people for disturbing the peace? And then they go to a local jurisdiction, a liberal judge, and they get out the next minute. But Biden's ATF took out a man in Arkansas in his home who was unarmed, and the excuse was he could have been armed. Where were all the Republican protests for that? You see how there's this ridiculous outrage with the left, but the right, it's not the same. It's not even scaled balanced properly. I mean, and then let alone the Charlie Kirk assassination, that they celebrate it and it's in public, and Charlie Kirk was a huge asset to the Republican movement and Republican propaganda, and they think that this is like there's been more protests over this ICE shit than there was for Charlie Kirk by Republicans. This is how backwards this shit is. And they dance on Charlie Kirk's grave and then want to cry about this. Trump should have came down hard on this earlier. Instead, he lets Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem advise him, which leads to shit shows like this. Well, obviously, there's some type of strategy. I mean, because people have been talking about this for months, going back to last year with the LA situation. When is the Insurrection Act coming? What is the proper time to use it? It's a big executive move to use the Insurrection Act, and so he's getting advisement to where it's not the right time. I guess that's really all I can say about it. People keep demanding it. They demanded it earlier after the Renee Good situation. So I don't know. I mean, Pam Bondi, I agree. I think it's been bad. I mean, she seems like she's feeling the heat and she's really pissed off. She was apparently very angry that Don Lemon wasn't charged, but that's all like local. I mean, really, what really can you do with that? I mean, I guess there's certain things she can do, but yeah, he should have picked somebody other than Pam Bondi for sure. Give a rundown on what happened with the shooting. Whose side are you on? Just joined. Well, I'm not on the protester side. Let's just say that. Now, in terms of the singular event of the shooting, I mean, it's a judgment call. I mean, you don't know. It's a scrum. The guy has a gun. Was he disarmed? Was he unarmed? I mean, that's what people are trying to say. They said, well, they took one of the ICE agents took the gun from him, and so there was no justification on shooting him because he wasn't armed when technically the shots were fired. And it's another judgment call, but it's like you put yourself in these scrums with agents and you're not obeying the agents and you have a gun on you. It's probably not going to end well. It's like these people. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? And then they say, well, they're not trained properly. Well, let's look at the background of these agents and see. He picked Matt Gaetz, but Gaetz bowed out. He was never going to be confirmed. That's why there was no chance. Mendoza going to the Raiders. I mean, it's going to be hard. The Raiders are not that good of a franchise, but yeah, they got Bowers. Yeah, I saw that a rider bit off a finger of an HSI officer. That doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. The dude lost his finger. Somebody bit off his finger. But they're peaceful protesters. But these people, they're not peaceful at all. They know if they get into some scrum, I mean, it's all the liberals are going to take their side, even if they assault. If they assault ICE, that's the goal. They get praised for it. That's the thing. What if Trump fired Bondi and put in Myron Gaines? Come on, man. Why do you love Myron Gaines? It's like, I mean, come on. It's not. So many wild takes from liberals on X. It's irrelevant. I don't even care what the liberals' opinions. I mean, what does it matter? Liberals don't even. If imagine if the United States was founded with this current liberal understanding, the country would be a third world shithole. I guarantee it. It wouldn't even be function. You wouldn't be able to function like in a society if liberals founded a country today with the way that they with their value system and the way that they treat demographics and immigration, the country would be a complete third world fucking hellscape. I mean, by today's standard, liberal today's standard, all the founding fathers would be like just complete and total racists. And I mean, it's just their way of governance is just not realistic in society. It's not maintainable. I mean, why do you think we're on this just seemingly slow decline? Minnesota is a failed state. I mean, it's just this would happen anywhere in these major cities. It's just liberal people think that they can just boss around ICE and say we don't want you to do deportation because it hurts our feelings. That's what this is. Who would you vote for in 2024? Was that a trick question? So we'll see what happens. Thoughts on Skyline Chili, Ohio restaurant staple? Yeah, I live in northern Ohio. It's a southern Ohio thing. I've never had Skyline Chili before. It's really Cincinnati, so it's almost a Kentucky thing. Honestly, Skyline Chili, but it's a Cincinnati thing. I haven't had it. I live in the north of Ohio. No, seriously, I'm asking. I voted for Kamala Harris, bro. Come on. I voted for Trump. I mean, I like chili, but the pasta. I mean, it's probably be good. I mean, it's carbohydrates. It's not probably not. It's probably gonna be good. And chili is good if you have the sour cream and what else? What else is with the chili? The cheese, potato soup is really good. Potato soup with a biscuit. So you're admitting you're a Trump supporter. Thank you for revealing your biases. Why should we take any news from you take seriously? I mean, everyone has a bias, you retard. Literally every person has a bias on Earth. Why should you take anyone seriously? Go watch CNN or something. The master race. It is. You don't see many gingers around anymore. Maybe some in Ireland. They're very liberal, though. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, I mean, I'll take the money, but I'm not gonna do it because I think it's gonna be a decent stream tonight. I had to remove him, even though you'll take the donations. I appreciate the donations, I really do, but the attention, you're gonna have to get your attention tonight from the OnlyFans girls you message, not from me. So I had to remove him. Like, I'll take the $5, but I mean, do I really need the money to get into this argument with this dude again? I don't think so. Do you think Fishback pulls the upset? Um, I think there's very little chance Fishback pulls the upset. How did this dude even? I mean, maybe you can message. Yeah, man, you're gonna have to go to another stream. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not gonna have the stream derailed. Dye your hair black. I'd look like I don't think I'd look good. I wouldn't want to do that anyways. You're a ginger. You have your biases too. It's very rare if you're actually a ginger. It's about 1%. 1% of the U.S. population, maybe. Please do your research. And the thing is, bro, it's like I know pretty much more than all these liberal people. It's not like I don't even know what their argument is. The argument is, well, ICE is mean. Like, dude, this is the way people have to be deported. It's not it's not you're not going to play patty cake with the illegal immigrants. Did you see Cyrax end up on Libs of TikTok? No, I don't know who that is. I've asked to join your moderator team. I moderate Barry Cunningham's fanfare channel on YouTube, X, and Rumble. Really? Well, it's I haven't seen you much in here. SV Patriot. Do you have moderation credentials? We might need another moderator, honestly. We may need another moderator, but I haven't seen you much. So you might be trolling. Can I get a mod? I've been here for years. Yeah, no, you have been here. You have been here a while. Down to mod. Yeah, you donate a lot. Yeah, it's like everyone wants to be a mod. We shouldn't play patty cakes with legal immigrants either, just saying. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. But the thing about where the country is right now, we can't even do this with we can't even remove illegals, let alone legal. But listen, the window is it's shifting, but the illegal immigrants, I mean, the ones temporarily on visas, it's but what are you really going to do with them if you can't even deport illegal immigrants? You can't mod, but could you ban? You want me to ban you to be a martyr? You're a contributor to the. You're a contributor. I'm not gonna ban you. Ethno state, bro. That's insane. Name another country that's even come close to the demographical shift the U.S. has gone through in the last 60 years. Like the gaslighting about ethno state is crazy. The Hart Seller Act, 100%. We need a crypto representative as mod. Me, lol. Yeah, you are a crypto guy. I'll have to think about it. I mean, I know there's at least like 10 people that I could probably trust with being mods. I mean, it's not even a I don't even know if we really I mean, if I constantly was running into liberal issues with these people, because I used to always have a lot of liberals during the election, but it's kind of gone away. How can anyone support a Democrat? It doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, I can understand how that I can understand how some of them can support the Democratic Party, but it's really half the country supports the Democratic Party, possibly even more if you, because most people don't vote. You need a Chad mod to Mog. Your name's Chad. Well, your take on the O'Keefe, the James O'Keefe video? I haven't seen it. Go to Obama's illegal immigration comments from the Democratic debate in 2009. That is crazy. I mean, that's the thing. People think that the window is shifting. I mean, it's shifted so far in the opposite direction to begin with immigration. I mean, look at Hillary's comments. A lot of what Hillary said would be deemed racist nowadays by liberals because of how left they've gone on a lot of the race relations over like the past 2 decades. Government shutdown by January 31st, 80%, 85% chance. So we'll see. Maybe that's just reactionary. But how about that penguin coin, man? What the? I never see. You talk about crypto. The penguin coin, that's got to be a cabal. That how is that organic? I haven't seen a coin do that in forever. A meme coin go to 130 million. That's normally the only ones to do that are like Solana cabal coins, like the troll coin and the useless coin. But that penguin coin, I mean, is that even that good of a meme? It's some cabal or something. Penguin went to 100 million. I mean, you think that's bullish to see an infusion like that with a coin. I wasn't expecting to see that at this point in the cycle. I mean, maybe money is coming back into the Solana memes. I don't know. Silver price jump. Yeah, that's people are just. There's a lot of money shifting into the precious metals. You saw gold. Gold keeps hitting new all-time highs. $30 trillion market cap. Silver is following it, but I mean, for silver to do a 3x in like the span of a year is insane. You think there's going to be a pullback, but who knows? People are losing trust in currency. The dollars, the people are losing trust on the dollar. Getting a snowstorm. Yeah, it's the snow is supposed to start at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and so when I wake up, it'll be about 4, 5, 6 inches on the ground already. So it's plus, I mean, it's already ice. The driveway is icy. But then we're supposed to get really like almost a blizzard level at around 11 a.m. to noon. That's when it's supposed to really hit. But a lot of the people in the South were saying we didn't get anything. It's actually rain. So I don't think they got it. But of course, we're going to get snow. SV Patriot is a good mod. He has a great sense of humor. I think Trump is going to call for the Insurrection Act right before the government is supposed to shut down. Well, that's a good endorsement. See, it's like politics. I need to see which mods get endorsements. So that's a nice endorsement. So maybe this maybe this is someone that I should choose. Have you made good money investing? Well, I would say not really. It's the not really. I mean, we'll see what happens over the next few years, but I could have made some really good money, but I mean, I think there's going to be a portfolio that I set up that's really boomer centric, and there'll be a safer portfolio that I set up with myself. I have a lot of money that I need to put into some type of whether it's the Nasdaq 100 or S&P. I mean, I guess I'll take an 8 to 10% return. I'll take the 8 to 10% return. Maybe I'll wait for a dip. Really, I should have invested in April. That would have been the time to get in. That's when I should have threw all my money into the S&P or the Nasdaq in April. What's a good amount gold to silver ratio? I don't know. I mean, gold and silver, it depends your financial situation, but they're if you want to just hedge against inflation and you want a place to keep your money safe to where it'll I mean gold, a precious metal is a decent investment. I mean, now it's like they're overbought at this point. You offer to be a mod, but you don't think women should be in positions of authority. Well, I think Ahmad's. I think Ahmad. I mean, normally I don't get women on the channel very often. That's a unique offer. What do you think about AI? It's just part of technological advancements, like the internet. It's inevitable. Now, what does it develop, and what are the restrictions on it? Well, that's something that they're gonna have to figure out. There's probably gonna be some problems. I mean, it's just the reality of innovation. They're gonna go too far on certain things. They're gonna have to restrict certain. I mean, you already see it with Musk and Grok, where it's like, put her in a bikini and all this. You saw that happen like 2 weeks ago. People got really angry. They had to restrict it. I mean, that's part of the process of technological advancement. Yeah, they're gonna milk this. They're gonna milk this video to death. Silver demand is high and the supply continues to shrink. It's not overbought. I mean, for a coin with that market, or for a commodity with that market cap to do a 3x, I'd be surprised if it continued to go up in a significant way. I mean, maybe it still can. I mean, eventually, I think silver inevitably will keep going up, just like gold, but probably a pullback based off of the recent price movement. Do you think a civil war might be possible? The political polarization has gotten insane. Yeah, I don't. I mean, you never know. I mean, if a civil war happens, it's probably hard to predict, just because people don't think it could ever get to that point, right? So it's like it's hard to say, okay, this happened, this shooting happened, this is going to cause a civil war. Like if civil war happens, you can't really say this is, So it's hard to predict because nobody actually thinks a civil war is going to happen unless you're just throwing a random prediction out. I mean, but really nobody, you go back to like World War I, World War II in the 30s, people didn't really think a world war is going to, so it's hard to predict, but it is, a civil war, it just seems, maybe some type of divorce between the right and the left, but even that is like, the only way I could see it is like if a single state secedes and then a bunch of other states surround it within the next few years secede, and then because if you just do like a divorce, like it's hard to the states are kind of discombobulated. There's some liberal states and then there's a conservative state and there's it just I don't know if that really works. Um, but there's other countries that probably have a lot worse, situation between parties than we do. I think a lot of it is heightened because of social media. I mean, everyone sees everything now. And also it's just Trump. I mean, these people hate Trump. Trump is definitely he's a bombastic figure and he's an aggressive figure and they really hate him. Dye your hair black? Dude, I'd look like a wacko if I did that. My brother has like black hair. Thank you for the $50 donation though. I appreciate it. I can't even see your name. I don't know why. Mum, thank you for the $50 donation. Oh, a Christmas whale, a Christmas miracle. Anything you found out about the guy's social media yet? The guy that got shot, no, I haven't seen anything. I heard he was a nurse or he worked in healthcare. That's what I heard. He was obviously anti-Trump, anti-ICE, protesting, and I mean, ideally, these situations would not happen. It wouldn't be brought to this point to where, there's this because it's just gonna give them, it's bad when anyone dies, and also it creates a polarization, and they're gonna politicize this event, and they're gonna use it against Trump, and yeah, there might be another shut. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just like a rapid reaction to this, and people are going crazy. I didn't think originally there was going to be another shutdown this, at least early in this year. They're saying they're going to shut it down, try and leverage play like Trump's use of ICE or something, I guess. So the Democrats are not going to want to fund or continue the funding of the government. It's probably something like that. I don't know. Will the protest in Minnesota cause the doomsday clock to move? Yeah, it'll probably move 1/100th of a second. The way they milk that doomsday clock. That doomsday clock is such a joke. They're like, we're updating it, and now because Trump was elected, we're moving it 1/1 millionth of a second closer to midnight. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the videos are really grainy from what I've seen of the shooting. It's very hard to make out the situation that's unfolding. Who do you think will be playing in the Super Bowl? Also, do you think ICE is doing the right thing? Well, if ICE is deporting people, and I mean that's what they're paid to do, is to go in and deport people and enforce that. That's what they should do. And sometimes there's these protesters, they want to get in their face and assault them, and they think that it's okay to, and they've been given almost the right to do it by the politicians. They tell them to do it. I mean, it's like this to me. It's just such a big issue if we democratically vote for people to be deported, and then these liberal protesters say, "Well, according to us, we're just not going to allow you to do that." And then if you want to try and continue to do it, we're going to get in your face and cause you to be obstructed. I mean, this is not proper behavior for a society. The people you need to go to jail for obstruction. It's not allowed. These are federal agents here to deport people that are not here legally. That's the reality. There is one video where you can see that officer who removes the man's gun. It seems to go off and discharge, shooting the ground, which startles the other officers, followed by other shots. So the man that disarmed him shot at the ground, and it startled the other officer. I don't know if that's what happened. That's what maybe happened. New narrative every day. Definitely not talking about fraud now. Yeah, what about Greenland? This is how the news cycle works. It's so stupid. But I mean, it's just the reality. It's always something different every week. Accidental discharge. That's a lie. There's a clear image of the suspect with the gun. He even takes the first shot. Well, if he takes a shot, then I think that's justified for self-defense if he takes a shot. Did he die? Yeah, the protester died. That's why there's all people think there's going to be riots. Or I was seeing videos where it looked like it was pretty bad already. More arrests are coming in Minnesota. Accountability is coming. Yeah, I don't think anyone really believes, the Camp Bondi at this point. What is this? A Democrat representative claims a MAGA supporter assaulted him after yelling, "Trump is going to deport you," then yelled racist remarks after running off. The individual was arrested and I am okay. What do you think about that? Oh my dude, these people are literally human garbage. I mean, they create garbage. This is what leftists create. They create a garbage Berlin Wall blockade. Was his gun pink with Hello Kitty stickers and a trans flag? No, they have an up close shot of the gun. You can look it up, but I mean, I get what you're saying. They literally create human garbage in their city. Their wall is garbage. I think the sign says immigrants are great. What do you, oh my God, immigrants are great. Are we back to like 2021? Like, haven't we been through this where you guys say all immigrants are good, then you let in all the illegals, then the vast majority of normal citizens vote against you. Now we're back to all immigrants are great again. Okay, that's great. Go ahead and run on that in 2028. Your brother told you an ICE agent got his finger bit off. Yeah, that's a true story. They have a photo of the finger. The tip of his finger is in a freaking little container. The dude, they said he's losing his finger. There was an ICE protester that bit his finger off. That's what these people do. They're empowered. They think they can just do whatever they want. They think they're justified because they think ICE are all committing illegal crimes. That's a real story. There's a photo of it, of his finger. The tip of his finger is detached, and it's in a container. Oh, man.
Protesters have joined from a vigil they were holding, and you can see these young people in the shiny vests. They've actually stopped traffic. They're pretty well organized. They've got walkie-talkies, and they replace each other. But basically, they've stopped traffic. So you can see this is expanding now from just one block where the shooting took place. Now it's moving out into other blocks. We were going to pull out of our car, and they said, oh, no.
And all the cities are like this, by the way. Every major city in the United States is every extreme urban center where it's highly densely populated. It's very liberal. Now it looks like in Minneapolis, there's no movement downtown. They've blocked up everything. Everything's blocked up because the liberal selfishness must wash over everyone, and everyone's inconvenienced now because these people are mad.
No, you can't go. So you have people in shiny vests really directing traffic, controlling the streets, saying who can go where. No, you can't drive away because I'm in a shiny vest, and I'm telling you can't. So we can see who's in control not just of one street where the shooting took place, but now multiple streets, as several thousand people have joined this protest from a vigil.
All right. Steve Harrigan, thank you.
So, guys, let's bring it around the table.
It's like a college girl. Ooh, yeah, she's really gonna move heaven on earth with a fucking vest on. National Guard stationed to maintain peace against leftist rioters. Well, that's good. I mean, hopefully it doesn't spiral out of control.
Stephen Miller has gone so far as to label the victim today as an alleged domestic terrorist. What do you make of?
Why do Republicans see guns as such an important issue? Because it's an amendment issue, it's a rights issue, and it ties heavily to the history of the founding of the United States. But obviously, it's evolved in modern times. I'm pro Second Amendment, obviously, but there's some nuance. But I mean, it's because it's seen as a right. It's unique and almost exclusive to Americans. Thoughts on the halftime show being a dude in a dress? It's a humiliation ritual, and they're trying to humiliate the country. The guy is not he doesn't care about America. He's Puerto Rican. It's a territory, I get it, but it's, come on. You know, they bring him on. It's really because like he's huge in South America or Asia or whatever the fuck. It's a globalist thing. They want to expand the sport. Now he's wearing a dress, trying to humiliate the. I mean, this is, you know, the Super Bowl. I think the sports has become so detached. I mean, where is the, like, with the NFL? There's just zero care about any actual etiquette. They just care about the capitalist bottom line. So they bring in people like this to try and expand their reach. But it's just going to be a humiliation ritual for the country. The dude in the dress. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised.
Of that kind of language and using that to describe the man who was killed today by federal agents.
This has become part of the disgusting White House cover-up of these killings. They said the same thing about Renee Good. They really think the American people are stupid. I mean, we can all see the videotapes. We saw the videotapes with Renee Good. We've seen the videotape today with Alex Preddy. It is clear that Stephen Miller and this White House are engaged in a cover-up, and it's criminal to try to cover up a killing like this. Look, the reality is that the real domestic terrorists, they're in the White House right now. They're people like Stephen Miller. They're people like Donald Trump. They're the ones who are terrorizing the community, these communities, having nothing to do with public safety. You know, they said that they were going to go after the worst of the worst. We see them now apprehending kids. We see them shooting these.
They're trying to deport illegal immigrants. They're deporting illegal immigrants. That's who they're deporting. I don't understand. They're terrorizing the people are getting in their way. If you're afraid of these people, if you get out of their way, they're here to deport illegal immigrants. You see how they try and like manipulate it? Like, oh, they said they were going to get the worst of the worst. They're deporting illegal immigrants.
Law-abiding citizens. This is totally out of control. And I think that the country and people across the political spectrum are looking at what they're seeing on the videotape and listening to the lies coming out of the White House, and that they're agreeing with those of us who say we cannot continue to provide one dime to this lawless Trump operation.
It's already been funded. ICE has funded a record amount because Trump won in 2024.
This is James O'Keefe in downtown Minneapolis. We have a team of undercover reporters still inside the mob. I was at the scene of the shooting, covering it this morning, and basically we barely got out of there alive. There were a few hundred that surrounded us, started throwing ice bottles at us. A few hit us, hit our vehicle. They were starting to rip off my bulletproof vest, so we got out of there. We were followed, we were tailed, and here we are right now. We just got this message, and it says, we know that you're in Minneapolis. You're with O'Keefe and his crew of Nazis. You're in a white Ford license plate. They actually wrote the license plate down from Florida. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. We are going to produce our footage, gathering everything we've got from this.
I think they should find out who sent that message and federally arrest them. I mean, you're gonna have to make an example out of someone.
This weekend, we're going to put our report together along with the hidden camera footage that we...
Like, these people, they travel in groups. They're like, we know who you are. We're going to kill you. All these people should be arrested and, like, extradited to a different state so they can actually be charged by a Republican judge.
We still have undercover people in the field. Please pray for my team's safety. This is worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. I have security with me, former Marine, and he said that it was worse than overseas, and it was certainly anything worse than I've seen the cartel at the border. We're going to contact law enforcement, DHS, and the FBI, and we're going to try to get out of here safely.
I know, but they said they're going to contact them, but is anything going to happen? That's the, I mean, because these things, it goes by, and then 2 days later, nobody remembers, and, you know, that's the thing. That's why these liberals think they can constantly do this. They say, we have your plate, you're going to be killed, or because they don't think anything's going to happen to them. They think they're untouchable. There has to be some type of event where you arrest a bunch of them, or right now it's completely out of control.
so we can bring the news to you. Stay tuned for our report coming Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
They're waving Mexican flags again. Remember when and again, I know everyone said this 100 times, waving Mexican flags for the right to stay in America. It's just like next level retardation. And I think they were told to stop doing that because it's just so stupid, but your country. I'll tell you, if we founded a country with your laws, the country would be is third world. There wouldn't be any functioning government. It wouldn't be possible. Like, that's what you should start doing. Like, with these liberals, with their modern opinions, if they started a country, the country wouldn't, there would be no, I mean, it's just a third world, just complete cesspool. They take the history of the U.S. and then they say, well, we're the reason this country is so great. No, not at all. Nothing to do with your current ideology is the reason why the country is successful, or Minneapolis is successful. Look at Minneapolis's demographics 30 or 40 years ago versus what it is now, and they want to take credit for, like, the success of Minnesota. Like, you have no fucking clue.
Today, this could have just as easily been me that got shot.
Why? Why so?
Because I'm a Minnesota permit carrier. I love donuts. I could have been in the donut shop. I would have came out, and I probably would have.
Who pays these people? Well, I mean, leftist organizations pay a lot. But in organization, I think the people that do a lot of these organizational things and protests, they get paid maybe by, people say Soros or other leftist top conglomerates. And so a lot of the protesters just do it because they're obsessed with hating Trump. But the people at the top, 100%, the way they organize it, they're paid, they have to be. You're not going to organize the logistics of, like, all these protests and give all these people certain items and stuff. And, I mean, there's obviously payments going on.
Filmed ICE because I don't think what they're doing is right. And so I had to come down here and see the spot. And I just can't believe that they shot him in cold blood.
As a Minnesotan, seeing everybody out here today, you said that you were also out on these streets during 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I rode my bike.
Oh yeah, when they rioted and caused the most amount of private property damage in the history of the United States. Remember that? That's another shining moment for the Democrats.
Down here after they killed George Floyd, and I cried after what I saw that they did to my neighborhood, and I just pray.
And then your neighborhood proceeded to get burned down completely by, I guess, liberals. I don't even know what I'd call it.
That everybody stays vigilant, but also peaceful, because I don't want to see this happen to my city again. Call in the National Guard, keep things quiet, but get ICE out of here. I don't think ICE belongs here. I've never had a problem in South Minneapolis with immigrants. They feed me, they roof my house, they...
Boomerism 101. Boomerism.
I just don't get it. 3,000 of them? I don't get it. That's why I'm here.
But, like, what can somebody ask this guy, sir, you do understand Trump won to deport illegal immigrants. That's what ICE does. That's why they're here. What gives you the justification to tell ICE to leave? The country voted for this. They voted for the deportation of these people. Is there going to be a question about that to him? Maybe we ask him that, see what he says.
Give you a hug, man?
Yes, sir.
All right.
No, we're just going to give him a hug. I mean, he said, okay, I appreciate him saying bring in the National Guard and he doesn't want anything to happen to us. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the guy was, imagine if it had been like a Latin American or Hispanic person that was shot. I mean, it'd be 10 times. Renee Good was a white woman. And then this dude was, they make no distinction between legal and illegal. Oh, 100%. They don't care. But that boomer is just he's completely gone. Right? There's no understanding in terms of the dynamics of these people coming into the country, lowering wages for everyone else, being job competition for other younger people. There's no understanding. There's no grasp of any of that. It's like the Jesse Ventura stuff. You're just too old. You don't get it. And also, there's no understanding on demographics and an actual culture of an American, of a country where there's no culture in the United States. They don't understand. They think it's just, it's such, to me, the easiest opinion ever is, well, everyone should be in the country. Like, is that not, but there has to be nuance. There has to be understanding. That's like a third grade level take to say everybody has a right to the country. Leftist. Wow. Thank you for the $100, Gene, the whale. There's a lot of anarchy. The whale, Gene in Pennsylvania. Show your tweets. I was actually thinking of doing that. I had a pretty good run with Twitter. Twitter is an interesting one because I've been using it more now, and so you get some good tweets, you get some and they say Twitter kind of limits after you get a certain amount of interactions. They limit your interactions, and I think that's true. But I've had some decent tweets about Greenland and stuff, and a lot of EU people. And how do you like the gold and silver prices? I'm not. I don't own precious metals. I own Bitcoin. Nah, I don't own Bitcoin either. Why won't Trump invoke the Insurrection Act? Because I mean, there's probably going to be significant political blowback to that, and maybe there's something about the government being shut down and the timing of it, like one of the donators was saying, in accordance to the Insurrection Act coming into place. I mean, I don't know. Don't ever forget your famous tweet. That probably is still my famous tweet. Bruh. Bruh. That had to be my number one tweet. I think it got 24,000 likes. I don't think I've had a bigger tweet than that, unless maybe it was during the election. Dude, during the election, you could tweet out just like Trump is gonna win, and it would get like 7,000 likes. The election is like next level, just clout farm, just engagement farm on the election. Will they really use this as an attempt to shut the government down? If it's possible, they're going to try and use it as leverage, I guess, to not vote on the funding, the continuation, the funding, something along those lines on the last day or second to last day of January. Do you think the Tigers trade? Yeah, I think they should trade him. It's a tough situation for them though, because they're not going to be able to afford him. They should try and trade him, but I mean, what do you do? It's like, can you even get that much for 1 year? You can probably get like one super elite prospect for him. Scooble. Dude, the reason I remember saying that was because Nick Fuentes signed up for the Monex thing, and so I went to their website because I wanted to see. And I was just like, there's no way that this costs like fucking $48,000 for 30 minutes. This is just preposterous. I mean, I didn't expect it to get that many likes or whatever, but it was just like, I was shocked at the price. And he's like, time is money. He's like, thank you for giving me a free promo. He's like, son, you just gave me a free promo. Oh, PBD. PBD. People kept saying it was like money laundering. I don't even think it was that. I just think it was he charges that much legitimately. Are you a person that drives with windows down in the winter? No, I can't do that. But I'm not on the road long enough to, because my car, it takes a while to heat up, and then when it heats up, yeah, the car gets pretty hot when it heats up, but I'm not on the road long enough to get to the point where I drive with the windows down. I do have to get AC for my car. It's really non-negotiable. I haven't had AC the past few years. It's cost like $600 to replace it. If you sold all your crypto tomorrow, how much in fees percentage would you have to pay before you convert it all into cash? It depends how much you're converting. If you're converting more, the percentage goes down. If you're converting, like if it's $1,000, I think you're probably looking at getting like 980 in cash. But I don't know. Maybe there's places where you can exchange almost one for one perfectly. But if you exchange like through Coinbase, or you're talking about US, like Tether to USD and then cash out, yeah, there's a bit of fees on that. But I think it's like less than 1%. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't done it. I mean, actually, I have cashed out. I cashed out crypto in 2019 because I got out of the market. A few $1,000s worth. I cashed out through Binance. As a Canadian, all Trump has done for us is energize the left. If it wasn't for his bullshit, Polyev would be PM. Now he's doing the same with ICE, galvanizing the left without mass deportations. Well, I mean, but we have no really, we don't really have any. Why Trump is doing what he thinks is best for the American right. It's whatever happens in Canada. There's really nothing we can say about that. And I do understand that, you know, these European countries and Canada hate Trump, and that's for your own country to figure out. But it's like, what do you want us to do about that? I don't know. Your country inherently is left wing. So whether it votes for Polyev or not, I mean, the country's still left wing. It's like, if the country is left wing, it's left wing. I don't know what to tell you. Like, Trump is obviously bombastic, and he's a right wing personality of the country that's by far the biggest. So I mean, people are going to be angry at him, and liberals on other countries are going to be mad at him. I don't know. I do know, you know, the one thing I'll say about the Canadian situation and the Europe situation, this is the one time it seems like these countries are nationalistic. And the reason they're nationalistic is because they hate Trump. Isn't it kind of funny? They're not nationalistic because they want to preserve demographics or they care about their own culture. They're like, I'm a Canadian, I'm proud because I hate Trump. That's really what it is. They're nationalists because Trump makes them nationalists. That's the control that Trump has. Wow, another $100. This is a very nice donation. I appreciate it. Mean Gene. One of the biggest benefits of Trump elections is we've seen the true face of leftist Democratic Party. They're nuts and unserious. Yeah, they just have some terminal problems with Trump. And I mean, Trump it's really sped things along in terms of getting these people to expose themselves for sure. The Pennsylvania whale. I don't need another job. I'm gonna retire from YouTube after this. This is crazy. I'm gonna write up my retirement speech right now from YouTube after this donation. This is amazing. By half-assing, he makes a bad situation worse. Yeah, that's like the Nick Fuentes argument. He should go harder. But you know, the thing is, dude, this is the problem. Even though he has executive authority, because of the way the government is set up through checks and balances, you're limited. And I'm not trying to give him excuses, and maybe he should just go balls to the wall, but he is limited by the checks and balances. I mean, there's things you can't do because of Congress, and it's a very slim majority. And I mean, some of the Republicans like Massey don't even like him, and they won't even vote with him on certain things. It's not. I mean, I guess the Insurrection Act is the thing you can definitely criticize him for not utilizing that, because that's an executive power that would really consolidate authority for Trump. Full measures are going to require taking control of Minnesota. Yeah, even with Trump and people say he chickens out and stuff. I'm surprised the Insurrection Act hasn't been called yet. It seems like people have been talking about it for 7 months. That Bama player should not be playing. It's a joke for college basketball. That just shows you where college sports is. These players go to the G League and then they play for the. I mean, come on, this is pathetic. I don't even know why the teams even want that to happen. It's ridiculous.
Give them to us so we can get them out of our country. We are focused specifically on child pedophiles and sexual assault and trafficking rings in Minneapolis, have brought dozens and dozens of them to justice. Why is he protecting them and refusing to work with us? All he has to do is, before you let somebody out of your jail onto the streets, is give them to us so we can get them out of our country.
Right, there's no cooperation. And it's just done as a way to make it harder for the administration to deport even really bad people. Dig through his socials till you see his Kirk take. Oh, the guy that was shot. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them celebrated that for sure. But I don't know about his socials. Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns is still wrestling. I don't know. I don't know any of the wrestlers in the WWE anymore. Broncos or Patriots. I think it's kind of a crap game with just, I mean, Drake May's a good quarterback, I guess. Bro, it's like, where are these super, where's the Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady? But I think the Patriots will probably win. I think it'll be close though. Going on the road in the NFL, the playoffs, it's very challenging. Denver, it's a tough place to play with the environment, the altitude. They're only 4-point favorites against Jarrett Stidham. I mean, Rams or Seahawks? I say Rams. I mean, the Seahawks, I don't know. I think the Rams are just a better overall team. Seahawks kind of just rely on their run game too much. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen but the Bills just have no receivers. I mean, that's their problem. They have no receivers. Pats versus Rams Super Bowl. Yeah, I remember that. It recently happened. I mean, this is a different iteration of it, but Nebraska basketball 20-0. What the fuck? Random. They're gonna lose though. Why is Nebraska not ranked high? Because I mean their analytics are really not that good. They win close games, but now they've been blowing teams out in Nebraska. But I mean they really should be like top 4, honestly, because they started the season unranked. I'm sure. Hassan Piker IRL at protests. Dude, that's so stupid. Like the IRL content. I mean, that became kind of a thing where people were debating the IRL content with all the, the Myron Gaines and the Fuentes and Sneeko, and they all did the IRL stuff. I think the IRL stuff, in watching it, I think a lot of it's just like, it's hard to see. I mean, maybe if you're 16 or 17 years old, you watch it. It's the IRL stuff. It's hard to watch that. I mean, you say it's goy slop or whatever. It's just like, because in real life, it's not like 95% of the time, there's not really anything intriguing happening. It's just because that's what real life is. There's not a lot going on. That's why when people do vlogs, like 95% of the day is really edited out because it's boring. So these streamers do the IRL stuff. I don't really think it's that You know, even going to a protest, like half of it is just like walking or whatever. Like, resurgent defenses in the NFL. Well, the defenses now, you know, they play like they play a style to where they limit a lot of the yards in the NFL are limited mainly because of the kickoffs. Teams are starting at the 30 to 40 yard line. That's why I think the kickoffs should be changed. I'd be fine with they just started all the teams at the 20-yard line. I think the kickoff looks stupid. It just looks not appealing the way they do the kickoff now. And then the players get out to the 35, 40 yard line, so it limits the yardage that you can have per drive. So I would just have them start at the 20. Can't stand the Steelers hiring McCarthy. Yeah, that was a weird one, Mike McCarthy. That's not a lot of creativity with that. He's already, you know, coached the the Cowboys and Packers. That's like he's a veteran coach, but you just kind of had that with Tomlin. So I don't really see the point of that for the Steelers. Nebraska's about to get whooped by Michigan. Yeah, I think Nebraska will lose to Michigan. I mean, Michigan, you know, they struggled a bit against Ohio State. I was surprised by that. But yeah, Michigan analytically is the best team in college basketball. I mean, they've lost, what have they lost, one game? Arizona hasn't lost any games. There's a lot of teams that are undefeated. It's weird this year in college basketball. Favorite WWE fighter? I don't really know any fighters anymore. It's not snowing. I think the snow is supposed to start. I mean, it depends where you're located, but like in northern Ohio, northeast Ohio, it's like 1 or 2 a.m. is when it's supposed to start. But in Columbus, it's supposed to start at like 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Columbus is getting more snow. They're getting like, it's just a weird storm because of the fact that it's coming across the country. They're getting like 16 inches of snow, which is very rare to see Columbus get more snow than the northern part of Ohio. Why'd you stop watching WWE? I don't know. I mean, it's just, I actually probably, you know, I just stopped watching it because I just got older and I didn't want to watch it anymore or lost interest. But I wouldn't even watch it now, even if I liked the idea of wrestling, because now they just use a bunch of fucking social media influencers. I think that'd be terrible. Now they use like Logan Paul and all these people come in. I think that's just like, doesn't that take away from just the storylines of it? I don't like that. Do the ICE agents have body cams? Wouldn't that solve a lot of mysteries with these incidents? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they're like federal agents. I don't know if they, you know, can the ICE people, do they arrest people? I mean, I don't know what exactly their jurisdiction is in some of these cases with body cams or whatever. I mean, this was a situation to where it's a scrum. So you're talking about, okay, the justification is very cloudy. Was he threatened? A gun went off. He got nervous. So I mean, you know, it's like the Renee Good thing. But that one to me was a bit more clear cut because she was disobeying an order and trying to drive. And you know, you could say, well, he was already in a safe position, but you know, the problem is, I think some of these situations, these agents are lightly trained, and so it's a bit of an issue. But I don't know. Maybe these people have been with law enforcement for a while. We'd have to see their background. This one seems a little harder to defend. Yeah, and also, yeah, there's just, it's not clear cut either because it's like a scrum. So if he's on the ground and somebody thought he had a gun and he shot it, but it was discharged by another officer, I mean, this is we'll have to see what they end up saying with the investigation and stuff. But, you know, immediately it just gets politicized and it just gives them the opportunity to say, fuck ICE and you should assault ICE and ICE. So it's just bad all the way around. we wouldn't be here without the Biden administration. He just flooded the country and pieced out. Yeah, and I mean it's by design. I mean look at his inauguration day in 2021. All of the Trump border policies, the border policies that really helped to a degree secure it. I mean, all of those went away, and they said that they were doing that because they thought that Trump was too tough on the border. This is all known. So really the direct cause of the rampant immigration and really Trump winning in 2024. I mean, like part of the reason he won was because of what Biden did with the border. And really you would say it's Biden. I mean, Biden was not even, he barely could understand anything. Just the Democrats in general, their viewpoint was illegal immigration doesn't matter. If you hate illegal immigration, you're racist. And then they had to change their tone. Now you see these Democrats and they're very careful with the immigration topic. They say, ICE is doing horrible things, but we still believe in a secure border. Like none of these, because they're all trained and they're all gerbils. They'll be like, the 100%, their entire takes going into 2028 is going to be a prerequisite saying, oh, I still want a secure border, because they know it's political suicide if they say anything different. So they'll be like, well, ICE goes too far, but we still need a secure border. That's what they'll all say. So they want amnesty for all the illegals in the country. That's what their policy was before. Thought you said you weren't going to be streaming tonight. No, I don't think I said that. I mean, I wasn't honestly planning on it until this shooting happened, and now there's a bunch of stuff about it, and Tim Pool, Dave Smith against ICE, thoughts? Yeah, I don't know if you can really give an inch on these people. I mean, it depends. I mean, I guess if you analyze this shooting, you could say, well, it was ill-advised. I don't think you can really give an inch. But Dave Smith, to me, Dave Smith's a clown. Dave Smith is a libertarian clown. We don't need libertarians right now with where the country is. We don't need libertarians, man. What do you do on nights that you don't stream? Preferably, I work on a video, but it hasn't really happened recently. Socialize with people, but most of the time, I prefer to work on a video if I'm not, because realistically, if I stream for an hour, 2 hours, if I just work on a video, I mean, it depends the video, but I like the nighttime. I like doing videos that are like script oriented, so they take longer. But I could still get a decent amount done. I used to gauge whether or not I should make a 9/11 video or do a live stream, like what would make me more money, and because normally I'll just work on a video if I'm not doing a stream. DG has always said the root of these difficulties was Biden's open border. Very smart. Well, think about it. Think about this. Think about the national discord on this, and this is just what it is, and I'm like the only one that does this. They say, well, the Democrats presented a bipartisan, remember the bipartisan border bill? And the liberal argument is always, well, Trump didn't sponsor it because he wanted the border to be as bad as humanly possible, so he would have the political firepower to say, you need to elect me so I could fix the border. The reason they offered the bipartisan border bill was because of Biden's shit border policy in 2021. 100%, that's the root of it. And they did it in 2021 because that was a time to where during COVID, there wasn't a lot of illegal immigration. There wasn't a lot of immigration in general. So they thought, well, we could remove all of this and people won't really care about the illegals coming into the country. Everyone's focused on COVID. Like, you got to go back to 2021 and understand where the country was in terms of the illegal immigration. That's really where it started. And it wasn't even like Trump had a crazy secure border. It was more secure for sure. But compared to what it is now, his first term wasn't they didn't have near the border security because they've invested a ton of money. But just understand when they use that talking point, it's complete horseshit. But now they've been saying this thing to where they're like, well, the entire immigration system is broken. I don't even know what they mean by that. All you have to do is station Border Patrol agents at the border. These people do not teleport from Mexico to the United States. If you have a presence at the border, they're not going to enter the country. It's that simple. It's like, well, the entire immigration system is broken. Do they teleport to the United States and then we have to just deal with them? Like, if you just, have agents at the border, you prevent them from illegally crossing. Why do you think there's basically no illegal immigration right now? I mean, it's just they make it out to be like this horrible like chemistry problem. And then yeah, the protests are not even close. You know, when a Republican think about Charlie Kirk dying. How many protests were there for that? I mean, it was more just memorials but these Democrats, they're bloodthirsty. They use it as a reason. They use it for political leverage. Trump could have passed so many executive orders right after Charlie Kirk died if he was really that power hungry and he was a fascist. Yeah, but they say it's broken and not in the Hart Seller way. They say it's broken and like, it needs to be reformed. Now, I agree with you. It is broken, but that's not what their argument is. It's broken in terms of go back to the quota system. Go back to the 1924 quota system. These people have zero clue or understanding on the history of U.S. demographics. You talk to them for a minute, they'll melt on the history of the U.S. demographics and the founding of the country. There's just no understanding. They think the country was founded and it was like they took 20 people from every region of the earth and that's the melting pot of the United States. They have zero understanding of how the United States got so successful. Zero. Because if they did, they wouldn't have there's no way they could have the current opinions that they have. Is that Nighthawks? I don't know what that is. There's libs in the chat. I don't see any libs in the chat. It seems like a pretty nice chat. Jaden McNeil. Yeah, I know a little of that lore with McNeil and Fuentes and talk about the shooting. I already talked about it. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's an FAFO. I mean, you're out protesting. It's all these people together. It's hard to see. There's an accidental discharge. I mean, it'll be investigated, but it's just going to be politicized and used for them. As a justification for rioting, as a justification for destroying property, as a justification to assault ICE agents. It's just terrible. Top 3 cereals. I don't eat cereal anymore. But the Reese cup, I mean it's just like it's so bad for you. It's the Reese's Pieces, this Reese cup cereal or whatever. Captain Crunch is good. Yeah, I just haven't had cereal in a while. Why would Putin think it would take 3 days to take Ukraine? Well, because it's extremely hard to actually project military. I mean, they had captured a bunch of territory very early on, but then they got pushed back. It's hard to project exact logistics in military wartime situations. I mean, how do you know how well your military is going to perform? But you like Pop-Tarts more than cereal? Yeah, Pop-Tarts are pretty nice, dude, but Pop-Tarts are like it's just like shitty carbohydrates. I mean, I remember eating Pop-Tarts to where I didn't even put them in the toaster. I just eat strawberry Pop-Tarts. They're not even that good. I mean, some of the Pop-Tart flavors, the s'mores, the s'mores and the strawberry were the two most, and then the cinnamon swirl. Those were the 3 most famous. But we always would just get the strawberry. I mean, I guess they're good, but you eat them without toasting them. They're very dry. The best you can do is $2. Listrat. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Take on Bannon. Steve Bannon, I haven't heard what he's been saying. I mean, what he wants to run for president. I don't think he's going to do well in the Republican primary. But it's more of an attention thing with him. You look at what he wants. You know, a lot of these guys, it's like Fishback. A lot of these guys, they see this young griper, this Gen Z right-wing movement. They're trying to capitalize off of it. I don't even call it grifting, but I mean, it's very obvious. You can see it. And so how does that really manifest in terms of voting, though? So are progressive leftist libs officially pro to a Second Amendment gun rights? Yeah, I mean, in this situation, I'm sure they are. But toaster strudel, there's another I mean, these things, these are like fucking desserts, and this is what Americans eat for breakfast. Fucking toaster strudel. Yeah, I've had toaster strudels when I was younger. We had those for breakfast. With the frosting, I just eat the fucking frosting. They have the frosting packets. I just eat all the frosting packets. Then you have to eat the toaster strudel with no frosting. It doesn't taste very good. I don't know. Some of the toaster strudels, you know, without the frosting, it's like this really dry, breaded, like almost croissant type texture with the when you heat it, when you put it in the toaster. What's your daily diet like? I normally go to like Chick-fil-A, sometimes Chipotle, sometimes other places, maybe a sub place. But I have to eat early, so I eat at like 11 a.m., 11:30. Then I just have snacks. Then I have a few snacks throughout the day. So I'll have caffeine sometimes, but not a lot. Sometimes I'll have caffeine. Caffeine has to be, the caffeine intake is probably cut off by about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because I struggle with caffeine at night going to sleep. But normally it's just one meal a day, and it's a pretty strict diet, you know, with like Chick-fil-A, and I mean it's stuff, you know, it's healthy stuff. Russia can't do special military operations to capture Zelensky. I know. I mean, we captured Maduro. You think they would capture Zelensky, right? But I don't. You know, didn't they have almost Zelensky? I mean, I feel like they. You know, Zelensky. Remember, we were in the start of the war. There were all these sirens going off in Kiev, and Zelensky was like in a bunker and talking. That was a crazy time. I mean, I give the Ukrainians credit for surviving that and hunkering down. I mean, they certainly have gotten help with NATO, but why did you retire from the 9/11 videos? Because the content is just not there. I mean, I would make 9/11 videos if the content was there. Get a nice steak, homie. Wow, another $100 donation. This is why I stream tonight. I'm gonna be retiring. I'm gonna be retiring from you. Remember the Jake Gyllenhaal, the little kiss. I'm gonna be retiring from YouTube after this with this donation. Thank you for that, Vio. Vio Noob. 673767. To help me sleep, to take magnesium. Yeah, I tried to take magnesium. It didn't really. I had some digestion problems with magnesium, I think. Yeah, magnesium will put you out. It really will. Your body will probably adapt to it, but magnesium is a good sleep agent. That is more healthy, I think, than some of the other ones that you can take. What's the one sleep agent? You need to start a YouTube channel after seeing the donations. Yeah, I'll be able to retire. I'll be having my retirement speech because of this. Yeah, melatonin. Yeah, that dude, I took a lot of that one time, and it was that is, I don't think, a good sleep agent. It makes you really groggy the next day when you take that. To me, that's something to where it like artificially puts you to sleep. I don't think it's good. I think magnesium is probably more healthy than melatonin. It gives you insane dreams. That's interesting. I haven't had many dreams in a while. You go through periods where you get dreams, but I haven't had any dreams in a long time that I remember. I guess you dream 7 times every night. That's what they say. What happened to the vlogs? I mean, bro, the vlogs have been retired since like 2022 or 2023. The vlogs are just not realistic. There's nothing for me to vlog. I mean, I don't think it's that. The only intriguing thing would be like me moving or something. I mean, I don't. It's not like. I mean, do you think I have like these meetings and stuff where it's important? Like, I just don't have a lifestyle. I don't think that's conducive to vlogging. And also, it's like I don't know if I really want to do that. People support the laws passed by Congress which created ICE. Well, yeah, I mean, we support ICE, obviously. Why do you think we voted for Trump in 2024? We knew it was going to be massive funding for immigration custom enforcement. 100%. That's the point. So, of course, we support the ICE and the deportations. And whether or not people say, well, these people aren't trained properly, well, that's like an infrastructural problem with it. I mean, it's the funding is there, and the deportations, the operation. I mean, people are criticizing Trump for not deporting enough people, and now we have to deal with this. And, they make a big stink out of it. I mean, listen, if they want to legitimately criticize and say, well, there's no illegals in Minneapolis, I would be like, all right, well, I don't know. That is a pretty dumb thing for him to be doing. But obviously, there's illegals there. Why else are they going there? Bro, I don't even, that's not even English, man. That's like, you're speaking the Ewok language. I don't know what that is, man. You sprinkle sugar on scoop. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Who are Dems gonna blame when Trump is done? Well, they'll just say Vance is like the real Hitler and he's smarter than Trump, so he's more dangerous. You can already hear their talking. Like, I can predict their talking points. It's so easy. Vance is actually worse than Trump because he's younger and smarter and more articulate and more tactical. Oh, really? Yeah, we couldn't see that coming. He's speaking Somalian. Do a video on the world's tallest building in United Arab Emirates. They might be making a new tallest building. His children are brown. Well, that's actually a Republican. That would be a right wing retort. The liberals wouldn't use that against him. That would be brownie points for liberals. World's tallest man. That's a sad story. I forgot the dude's name, but he only lived to 22. He's like 9'2" or something. You can't be that tall. I mean, it's just not the ligaments cannot handle it, and then he got an infection and. Thoughts on Venezuelan sci-fi weapons used? I think it's just like an advanced EMP. There was some type of EMP or something. Something cluttered their communications and I guess rendered a lot of their shit, like shut down a lot of their shit. That's why they said it was pitch black during that raid when they got Maduro. A lot of a lot of the power grids were out in that area where they took Maduro, and it's like EMPs. I think is what Trump meant to say. Some probably advanced, upgraded version. Yeah, Robert, that was his name. You remember when you crashed out about Ohio State losing to Georgia? Yeah, that was really that was probably the best sports live stream I've done in terms of like bit. That was probably the best one. That game was pretty insane though. But watching it on stream is brutal. You know, watching a game like that on stream, it's like annoying. Wow, they just EMP'd Greenland. I'm kidding. they just EMP'd Greenland. No, I don't know. Citywide power outage, huh? Was that the New Year's college football New Year's game? That was in 2022. It was like New Year's Eve game. What happens if Michigan blows out Ohio State and Columbus? That's preposterous. That'd be shocking. With Kyle Whittingham, he's a good coach. It was raining on the street, clowns. It was, bro. It's ice raining on street, dude. You gotta get. I mean, it's like there's got to be a literacy test or something. We need. We've EMP'd Greenland. So that's the next step. This doesn't show Greenland. Dude, now people are saying because Canada's doing these deals with China, they're saying that Canada is owned by China. We can never lose. Like these countries, you know, Canada, they their cope is like, well, because Trump is so evil, we're going to diversify and we're going to use other countries to trade and we're going to isolate the United States. Then we just say their country's owned by China and just invade it. Oh man. And these Canadians, they get so angry. They're like, we're just doing a trade deal. It's nothing. We're just doing a trade deal. Now Trump has threatened Canada. He said 100% tariff if you go through with this deal with China. So I don't know. There'll probably be something they'll work out. The markets will probably open down on Monday if they take the threat seriously, which honestly they shouldn't, but Notre Dame vid? What on what? Canada has come out against Tibet and the Dalai Lama. I love how all the maps, whenever they show maps, they put Greenland as a part of the United States. If the U.S. invaded Canada, yeah, the Dalai Lama, you're right about that. That was some weird fucking shit. Those videos of him, that was like 5 years ago. If the U.S. invaded Canada, how long would they last? I think less than a day. I don't know, man. I don't think they'd really fight it. I think they would probably have some type of agreement. It'd be dumb to fight it. Their entire country, you know, the country, the way you invade it is just you take over the bottom fucking fifth of it. That's where all the population is. There's no other population in their country. It's all barren land. You ever went to a casino before? Yeah, but I don't really. I don't. I'm not really lured into that to gambling a bunch because you know. So it depends the personality type. Some people they go to a casino in Vegas once, and yeah, I mean, I just don't really care for it. Thoughts on Mendoza as a star player? I wanted the Browns to get Mendoza. You know, they won too many games. I think Mendoza will be a good quarterback. He's a bit corny. I think it gets old at a certain point, but he's definitely a franchise level quarterback in terms of his leadership. New playoff situation coming in. Well, it's still 12 teams. It's basically the same thing. They changed a few things around, but it's still 12 teams. Ankles up, elbows up, elbows up, you know, just like in hockey. You got to be willing to elbow the Americans. That's the motto. Yeah, I know the Notre Dame thing. I think the Notre Dame thing is stupid. I don't get why they get that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why like the fact that they're independent doesn't matter because other at-large teams would be in the same boat as Notre Dame. You know, if they're like the number 12th team, they would get kicked out of the playoff because of the auto bids of the group of 5. Will you watch the NFL tomorrow? I mean, probably the AFC game. The AFC game I'll probably watch some. The AFC game's on at 3, so. Will they expand to 16 teams? No. After this year, after next year, I think they're probably going to expand to 16 teams. There's no way they go from 12 to 24. It's just not realistic. They would have to go 12, 16, then 24. There's no way they go 12 to 24 unless they're just obsessed with money, but I just can't see it. Watch any of the UFC? No, I don't watch the UFC. NFL going to 18 games. They really shouldn't. The NFL, if the NFL, like from a viewership standpoint, they should honestly go back to 16 games. I think 17 is too much, and like the week 18 just looks dumb, and a lot of it's just, I don't know. I feel like 16 games is more than enough. But it's all money based. I mean, they want more profit, so they're gonna cut the preseason probably to a single game or 2 games. Thought on Mendoza's brother. His brother's Alberto. He's really not that good. He's not as good as his brother. Imagine if Indiana just started his brother and his brother ended up being better. That would be next level. But he already transferred. What's more likely, Christ returning in 2026 or Insurrection Act? I don't know. At this point, it doesn't seem like Trump wants to pull the trigger. Maybe it is Christ returning. I mean, I get what you're saying because I think it's got to come out at some point, but maybe he's just waiting for the right time because when you do it, it's gotta be justified. Saw something about how Barron put on some weight. The Barron Trump thing is very interesting. Somebody was telling me in chat, and I mean, it actually is a big story. He was talking to I don't know who, but like some girl from the UK, and there was some intruder or something, and then he called the police or something. It's just like, I wonder who he's talking to. From a girl from the UK, but yeah, he might have gained some weight because he's in college and. 18 regular season games, 2 bye weeks, 20 weeks of regular season football. Bro, that's brutal. That is brutal. Yeah, because that would be a 19-week season. The right wing should stop catering to independents. These comedians voted for Trump, whose campaign promise was mass deportations. All of a sudden, changed their minds. Nothing makes them happy. 100%. Well, they have no agency with their vote. Their vote is based on emotion, immediate emotion, and really just sway of like other people. Like, why do you think really? You look at Rogan. Even Rogan's endorsement of Trump came on the day before the election. These people really don't believe anything. A lot of it's just done to like save face, and many of them want to be independent. And whichever party is in, they don't like because everyone else doesn't like, and they always want to be resistance. That's how it is with a lot of these people, like Theo Vaughn, like Rogan. So when Biden was in, oh, it turns, Trump is actually decent and we need law and order. Now Trump's in, oh, we're a resistance lib. It's all the same. I mean, it's you can see it, and these are grown adults that have this opinion politically. Like, there's zero backbone, there's zero allegiance, there's zero really standing for any type of more. Like, what did you think was going to happen? You really think these people were going to report on the deportations with like fucking roses? I mean, obviously they're going to be like, this is evil, you shouldn't be deporting these people, but that's the point. I mean, we're adults, we realize we need a country, so we need to deport the people that are not here legally. But it's like, you have to appeal to these people. And that's the thing, is I was seeing something with someone where they're like looking at the bigger picture of the thing. Like, the independent people are just in general, the country, in terms of the temperament and the vibes, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. They'll be like, in 2024, we got to deport everyone. This is horrible. 1 year later, when they're like 1/4 of the way through the deportation effort, they're like, never mind. No, this is mean. So what can really be accomplished here, guys? Seriously. And the thing is notice how there's never any outrage when there's 1 million people entering the country illegally every year. There's never any outrage about that. Now, there was once people realized it, but it's like, when you try and deport 300K people, it's the worst thing ever. It's terrible what ICE is doing. Rogan is a liberal at heart. A little annoyed with him right now. I just think people have to understand, there's zero conviction with Rogan. When you endorse someone the day before the election, that is the ultimate form of fence sitting. What does your endorsement really mean if you give it the day before the election? I think that's the weakest thing you can do. You're a grown-ass man. You can't choose. I mean, but with him, it's all about the bottom line. It's easier to just be an independent and not have any real opinion on politics. How the Dodgers ruining baseball when the Dodgers only have 8 rings, the Yankees 27. Well, I mean, obviously the Yankees 27 rings were all won in the fucking 1900s. I mean, a lot of them were won in the early 1900s. The reason is because the Dodgers are fucking hoarding contracts and using deferment, pay deferment, deferring pay to be able to fund their roster. I mean, they're manipulating the roster and salary cap, and they're manipulating luxury tax and everything. I mean, I guess other teams could do it, but they don't have the money or the infrastructure to do it. Yeah, Yankees have not won since 2009. That's a pretty big drought for them. They made the World Series in like 2024, I think. Yeah, I remember watching the Yankees-Dodgers in the World Series right during the election. That's pretty crazy that was happening during the election. That's a crazy World Series, but it was a letdown. I think it only lasted like 5 games, Yankees-Dodgers. And then, of course, the fucking Yankees or the Blue Jays Dodgers goes 7 games. It's like the best. Goes extra innings, game 7. Where were the liberal protests when an illegal murdered a U.S. citizen? Oh yeah, that's happened numerous times. And there's no. Are Republicans going to go out and destroy property because of it? You see the double standard with these things. It's crazy. Like, everything gets magnified. George Floyd, the most property damage in U.S. history. When there's an illegal that kills a U.S. citizen, there's a heinous story after heinous story involving white people being terrorized. Where's any protest on that? It's not even close. What about Charlie Kirk being killed? Where is the riots because of that? None of that happened. Nothing came close to that happening. Didn't you pick Fairleigh Dickinson to upset Purdue? That was a troll. He never pulled his gun out of the holster. I think they disarmed him, and then there was a shot fired, and they thought he fired it, and then they shot him. But that's just speculation. I mean, it's very blurry, but that's what just people are telling me. Arthur Smith hired as Ohio State OC. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. The last thing Ohio State needs is Ryan Day calling plays, so at least they got an offensive coordinator. You know, Ohio State, a lot of those fans are very angry. That team has stagnated. They've got this schedule. People think they're going to lose 3 games next year. They do kind of have a tough schedule, I'll be honest. Ohio State, Michigan has a tough schedule next year. Oregon, a lot of these Big 10 teams are starting to play each other every year, and it's they're gonna, some of them are going to miss the playoff, honestly. Because if you go 9-3, I think you miss the playoff, unless it's like a special circumstance. If you lose 3 games, you're missing the playoff, unless you make like your conference championship game and then you lose the 3rd game in the conference championship. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Think about the 2 things that are keeping these riots from getting out of control. The fact that it's 0 degrees, the fact that there's a snowstorm. Well, that's 2 things right there. But also the race of the people that got shot. I mean, my goodness. If we've got this situation where these people are out with 30,000, 40,000 people in 0 degrees, imagine it's June 14th and it's people of color that got shot. I mean, this is another situation. You would have to utilize the Insurrection Act. I mean, it would just be a mess. Like, these people think they can just do this and go out and just destroy property, and they're justified in doing it. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State didn't have that great of a season. You lose to Miami like that. That was a bad. I mean, I guess Miami is decent, but I don't know. Miami, like, they went to the national title game. I don't know about Miami. They still couldn't really throw. Miami was kind of a weird one. I mean, they had a good defensive line, I guess. Trump needs to do a public national announcement defending ICE and denounce the rioters. Well, yeah, did you see Trump actually kind of backtracks the Renee Good situation? People didn't like that at all. I wonder what he'll say about this. He does have to address it, obviously. But he needs to stand strong because it's you know, if you show weakness, I mean, you're gonna give in to you're gonna give in to them, and the deportations are gonna be problematic. But I think he's starting to get spooked about midterms. I don't know. You know, they're starting to really tone police him. You know, he had to apologize for the UK comment, which, I mean, I guess you say it's distasteful. The reason he said that was because, you know, the way that NATO would deployed with Article 5, and, you know, the U.S. troops were the ones on the front lines, I believe. And so he said something about, you know, other troops, because NATO uses the Afghanistan situation as, like, blackmail against the United States when the U.S. says that NATO doesn't do anything for us. Remember a couple of months ago when that white lady in Cincinnati got beat up by a mob of black people? No Republicans. Oh, yeah, that was horrible. I think it was 2 white people. Yeah, that lady was laying down. She looked like she was dead. I think she probably had some type of brain damage or something. That was horrible. And that happens. Those type of videos happen all the time. There's too many of them. You can't go out and protest because there's so many of them. Yeah, I do remember that was in the summer of the Cincinnati video. And then the response was just like, it's some it was some white woman police chief who's just completely incompetent and she shouldn't be in that position, and she gives no response. She says it's like both sides. I remember that situation. But, you know, where's the outrage from where's the moral outrage from the right on that? Like, it's just not even close. That's the thing that people have to understand. It's quantifying the difference in terms of the outrage that these people have relative to Republicans in situations. And then remember, I still remember when Charlie Kirk got shot, they started doing this argumentation of like, well, we've actually done studies and right-wing violence is so much worse. You know, and then I start saying, you look at the 2 biggest political figures in the United States, any political figure, who are the ones that are getting shot at? It's Trump and it's Charlie Kirk. None of the liberal figures are getting shot at all. None of the big figures. But they try to like justify it by these studies of like right-wing violence on, but I don't even know who right-wing violence against who. Not liberal politicians. And then they tried to talk about Melissa Hortman. It's like 1% of the population knows about Melissa Hortman. It's a little bit different with Charlie Kirk. He's way bigger of a personality. He's way more important to the Republicans, way more important to young people, way more important in mobilizing voters. White nationalists are the biggest threat to the well, you know, the thing is with that, like you could really you think like I understand what they're saying with that. They say white nationalists. You know, they would call any of the founding fathers white nationalists. Like the creation of the United States was white nationalists. The reason look at the United States up until 1950, all of the immigration laws in today's world they would be deemed extremely racist. The reason the United States became as successful as it is was, I mean, in a lot of cases, like white nationalist ideology. And so now they say like the bad stuff is white nationalist. Like this is why the country is going to go to shit. Because there's no understanding of the history of what made the United States in the first place. Was controlling Greenland, Iceland, and the Philippines considered an American empire? Well, the Philippines has too many people. I mean, as a territory, but is it worth it? They had the Philippines previously, the US did. But, yeah, I mean, Iceland and Greenland, I mean, you could call it an empire, I guess, I don't know. Probably Canada, you'd have to add. Ashley, I'm not familiar with that case, no. Arena Zaruska. Yeah, no, I have heard a few of the other ones with white women being just, they're horrible. They're hard to look at and really read. I mean, it's just, and because I know this even when I was 19, 20, you read up on the crimes and stuff, and it's just, the stuff is just so heinous, and it's just a different situation. I mean, it's... U.S. occupied Philippines during World War II. Yeah, very, very similar to Greenland. Ashley St. Clair video with Musk. Yeah, she's a wacko. Ashley St. Clair. She's trying to become a liberal now, apparently. Irrelevant. I just don't see the relevance to her. Like, these people, they think it's like this huge thing. Like, oh, now I'm going to come out as a liberal. Bitch, who really cares? I don't get the, I don't know. I mean, maybe some people say, I guess liberals are going to take it and use the grift, but see, she's learned. She now cares about trans, and then Elon Musk said, I'm going to try and file an emergency here, ruling from my judge to get custody of my child because he thinks Ashley St. Clair is going to make the child trans. Did you see that? Musk just says that. Oh, man. It is pretty funny to have both Trump and Musk. Like, it's just funny because they're these two extremely famous people, but they just say just funny shit sometimes. We conquered Philippines in 1900. Japan tried to kick us out in 41. We kicked them out just to give it up in 47. Well, I mean, that's a lot of people. Do you really want to be, paying entitlements to that? I mean, that you have to think about it. Depends on what the Philippines has to offer. Give us an update from Metro Columbus. I don't live in Columbus. I live pretty well north of Columbus. Any snow or freezing rain yet? Well, I know Columbus is going to get straight snow. It's too cold for rain. No, it's not supposed to snow where I'm at until like 2 a.m. Are you in the doomer mentality that the Dems are going to take over in the midterms and then the president? I think they have a good chance to win the House. I don't think they're going to win the Senate. So they're not really going to take over the midterms if they lose the Senate. Now, they could make it challenging for Trump, but yeah, they're the favorites to win the House, not the Senate. We'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a few things with gerrymandering that potentially gives Republicans some momentum going into like the heart of the summer. I still think there's a few things that are going to be happening with gerrymandering in Florida and possibly the Voting Rights Act and possibly also Indiana. and maybe that'll make the House a little bit more competitive. Tiffin, Ohio? I'm not in Tiffin. I'm pretty far away from there. I have heard of that place, but Clarence Thomas. Well, if they're going to retire, they need to do it so Trump can appoint new. I mean, this is the problem with the liberals, you know. They wait to retire, then they die with a Republican in, and the Republicans appoint a Supreme Court justice. So they need to make a decision. So Trump is able to do it. You know, you need to secure the Supreme Court. It's very important. 6-3. Even though some, you know, you get some of the Republicans maybe not as conservative as we'd like. We've gotten no snow so far. It's going to be an event all tomorrow. I know this place is southern have gotten snow already, but Cleveland, no, not in Cleveland. No, Cleveland is depending on where you live. If you live in a decent area in Cleveland, it's expensive as shit. Like any urban area that's decent is going to be like it's probably like $2,500 for a decent area, a decent apartment in Cleveland in a good area. Because there actually are good areas, but they're all on like the western side. It'd be like $2,500, $3,000. Like it's the markup prices in like urban centers is ridiculous. Yeah, the Philippines is interesting. I'll do a video on they're kind of Americanized a little bit, the Philippines, but also kind of not. It's like a hybrid. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I'm gonna end it there. That was a good live stream. I appreciate all the donations. That was probably my most donations I've gotten, honestly, in like 3 months or 4 months, something. So we'll have to see with this ICE situation, what Trump says about it. People said Trump made a statement, so I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to see if there's any. I think the riots are going to be quelled a little bit because the weather, and seems like they sent in the National Guard. Like the state National Guard was authorized by Walz. Do a vlog of you shoveling the snow. I actually have, I was going to pay somebody to come and plow it. It's just like, what is it, like $40? The thing is you have to contact these people and say, you have to come at this time, this time, this time. So you have to come in the morning, the evening, the afternoon. It's just like, thanks for the great show. Wow. $100 on the way out. $100 on the way out from the Florida Whale. Yeah, I did hear something about that skyscraper climb. One shovel path to the car and mailbox. I could make a path down to for the car to go out, but... Alright, guys, I'll see you later.